Merci. Merci. Bonjour, ni hao, sawadee-kap, salamat datang, konnichiwa, annyeonghaseyo, bom dia, buenos dias, devesbat. Et je suis désolé pour toutes les langues que j'ai oubliées ou que je ne sais pas encore pratiquer, je ferai mieux l'année prochaine. Donc I'm very pleased to be here with you today. I have the hard task to present you the last presentation of the morning. It will be very difficult to not repeat what has been said previously, but I will try to focus on two main topics. First, we have talked about antibioresistance. Professor Andrémont introduced us to the scientific concept, but we will try to see how this the issue of antibiotic resistance will change the livestock industry and how it will change your business, our business. And after we will see what is the proposal of Olmix Group to address this issue and what are the results of the first trial we have made in Brittany this year. So first, antimicrobial resistance is a challenge for animal husbandry. It's the emerging sanitary global crisis. In December 2014, Jim O'Neill, who was the former chief economist of Goldman Sachs, was appointed as chairman by the UK Prime Minister to issue a review about antimicrobial resistance. And in this review, Jim O'Neill said that he estimated that by 2015, the global total of antimicrobial resistance related deaths could be more than 10 times bigger at 10 million a year. Today it's estimated 1 million deaths a year. In 2015 it will be 10 million. It's more than the current global toll of death from cancer. So it means it's a huge challenge for all humanity. He also said that only for China, the cost of antimicrobial resistance will be that of $20 billion a year. So it's also an economical challenge. So what is the challenge for animal husbandry? As it has been said, in the future, we will have to feed more and more humans. So the global food consumption is increasing dramatically, and it will continue in the next years. And the main consumption is driven by animal proteins. So it's a little bit small, but we can see that animal protein consumption will increase on a dramatical scale. So for the producers, as they have to follow this demand, the facility, the easiest way to produce more animal protein is to use antibiotics as a growth promoter. Here you can see the current consumption of antimicrobials used in food animals. You can see that the main part of the globe where the animal proteins are produced are already using a lot of antibiotics. And if nothing is done, it will increase dramatically. Currently, 80% of the antibiotics sold in the US are used for agricultural purposes. This use of antimicrobials in livestock is to maintain health and productivity, but these practices contribute to spread drug-resistant pathogens in both livestock and humans, posing a significant public health threat. If you look at some figures, here I have some figures about Asia, but I could present you figures from Europe, from America, it will be the same. Antimicrobial resistance is already there. It's already a problem. If you look, for instance, in the Asian country, the percentage of antimicrobial resistant Salmonella and Escherichia coli, you can see that, for instance, to tetracyclines, 89% of the E. coli in the livestock industry are already resistant. In Hong Kong, it has been estimated by microbiologists for the Queen Mary Hospital that 70% of the live chicken, of the pigs, and also cattle that are sold on the wet market are found to carry some E. coli bacteria carrying resistance against antibiotics. The chance of consuming resistant bacteria in a serving of broiler in Hong Kong could be as high as 5 to 10%. It means it's not marginal, it's something real. So you can imagine tomorrow what will happen. A kid will have a salmonellosis-resistant infection. He will go to the hospital, and then he will die. Who will be to blame? We are not here to talk, to discuss if the antimicrobial resistance is the problem of hospital, if it's the problem of farmer. That's not the issue. The issue is that when we have problem, the medias, they will look for responsible. And somebody will have to be blamed. And if we don't do anything, farming industry, livestock industry will be the weakest point, the easy way for the media to blame. There is a global increasing demand by consumers for less antibiotics in livestock. So these are some examples of some NGOs or press release about antimicrobial resistance. This is not only a Western concern. This, for instance, is a press release that was published in an Indian newspaper. This was published in a Chinese newspaper. So it means this concern is growing, and not only in Western countries, but all over the world. Food industry will lead the shift. The spark has been already triggered. This year, McDonald's, in March, announced that by 2018, they will stop to serve broiler meat grow with antibiotics in 2 years. So McDonald's launched the start of the campaign for non-antibiotic meat in the US. Carrefour, the famous French retailer, is also producing now antibiotic-free meat in Europe. Woolworths, Coles in Australia, etc., etc. We can bet that now the competition for antibiotic-free meat has been started. It will not stop. And it will not stop also because regulatory policies tend to diminish or to limit the use of antibiotics in livestock industry. In 2013, the OIE, which is the World Animal Health Organization, issued recommendations for controlling antimicrobial resistance. OIE is recognized by the WTO, the World Trade Organization, as a standard organization. It means that, you know, we are living in a global world. Since the GATT round table, there is no more trade barrier. Now, at least for food, and now the trade barrier are more on on sanitary and phytosanitary issues. So it means that in the future, countries that want to have protectionism policy, they could use antimicrobial resistance as a sanitary trade barrier. And it is not only an hypothesis. In 2012, the Danish Food Safety Agency issued a research. They compare the carrying of antimicrobial resistance bacteria from broiler made in Denmark and imported broilers. So if you are a policymaker and if you see this kind of curve, it's easy to say, okay, we will ban the imported products that carry antimicrobial resistant bacteria. And you have a full legitimacy to do that for sanitary and phytosanitary reasons. So it means that according to the SPS committee, this trade barrier will be legitimate. So some countries have understood that this issue of antimicrobial resistance bacteria in food is very important for the public health, but it's also a very important problem for trade. European unions have been the first group of countries to have a very strict limit on antibiotic use in livestock industry. It's now more than 10 years that the European Union edicted some regulation to ban the antibiotics as growth promoters. But still, even if it's banned as growth promoter, it's used in a preventive way, and in fact, in many cases, the use in preventive way is a disguise for use as anti-growth promoter. In the US, in March this year, President Obama released the National Action Plan for Combating Antibiotic Resistance Bacteria. This plan addresses also the issue of antibiotic use in livestock. And this plan asks for a ban of anti-growth promoter in the livestock industry in the coming years. This 5-year plan made by the US administration is based on the recommendation from the US President Council on Advisor on Science and Technology. The strategy's goals include strengthening the national One Health effort and to accelerate basic and applied research of natural alternatives to antibiotics. One Health is the key issue of fighting antimicrobial resistance. Controlling antibiotic resistance requires the adoption of the One Health approach that recognizes that antibiotic resistance can occur in animals, humans, and the environment. And what is very interesting for the Olmix group is that in the targets, in the objectives that the USDA, US Department of Agriculture, assess to this plan of combating antibiotic resistance is by 2018, they must identify new alternatives that maintain the normal intestinal microbiota of livestock and naturally stimulate and support the animal's immune system. And this is exactly what brings the Olmix technology. So Obama dreams about that, but Olmix, yes we can, yes we do. So, what's the future for livestock industry? You see, this is the antibiotic grow chicken. So it is facing two big pressure. One is the consumers' demand and the food industry leaders. The other is international standards and the trade barriers. Today, livestock industry is pointed out as a major cause of antimicrobial resistance, especially in developing countries. As I said, we are not here to discuss if it's true or not. We are just here to make the observation that the media are saying that. So we have to address this question. Industry must take initiatives to preserve antibiotic effectiveness while simultaneously ensuring food security, food safety, and remaining economically profitable. So this means that we need to change farming practices. Tomorrow has to be prepared today. Advance is an advantage in the global competition. So now we are going to see how Olmix Group and how Olmix products can bring you those advantages. One Health concept demonstrates that human health, animal health, plant health, and environment are interdependent. This concept of One Health is based on an initiative set forth by the World Health Organization and the World Organization for Animal Health, OIE. The initiative was a response to the worldwide demand for safe food and responsible agriculture and animal production practices. One Health sees the advent of regulatory changes which call for reduction in use of antibiotics, pesticides, and insecticides as the ideal opportunity to promote higher standards of practice within the agricultural and animal production sectors. So to this One Health concept, Allmix had One Health thanks to Algae. Allmix Group, we are one of the world's leader prominent biotechnology companies. And thanks to Algae, thanks to the molecular extracts of Algae, we can produce naturally derived alternatives to synthetic additives. But it has been presented largely by Daniel before, so I will not elaborate too much on that. Algae is an abundant yet untapped resource that can be used to promote and maintain sustainable food production practices. So those are some pictures of algae in some part of the world. And this, we are very proud to present you this picture. This is the machinery that has been elaborated by Allmix and his partners to harvest the seaweed in the sea. This is something absolutely new. So, One Health, thanks to Algae, an alternative solution to face the challenge of antimicrobial use reduction. As you know, the digestive system is a target organ for animal health, and algae are an essential resource for health through nutrition. I will not elaborate too much, I think it has been done, and I think you are impatient to see the end of my presentation. Of course, all the Allmix technology is based on science, and we really want to thank, for instance, the INRA, which is the French Agronomy Institute of Research, and which is the biggest agronomy institute of research in the world. We want to thank INRA for all the support and scientific evidence they bring us to demonstrate the efficiency of our products. The Professor Madec, which is the head of antimicrobial resistance unit at the French Food Safety Agency, ANSES, said in October 2014, today, antimicrobial resistance must be treated at the ecosystem levels with a transdisciplinary approach, as the critical control point is the ever-growing spread of genes of resistance amongst gut commensal flora and environment flora. So this is exactly the philosophy of Allmix, and this is exactly how do we proceed and the solutions we propose to you today, to act on the animal ecosystems, both external and internal. So with the strengths of this philosophy of acting on the ecosystems, we issued a program, the Allmix Animal Care Antibiotic-Free Program. We insist on this notion of program. We are not here to say that only one product will be a magical powder that will replace antibiotics. Antibiotic resistance and to support the immunity system, it's much more complex than only shifting one molecule to another molecule. So the program consists on the synergistic effect of the different Allmix animal care products. So we have talked about Mistral, which can help to protect the environment of the animals. MFeed Plus, which is for the digestive system. MTX Plus for the mycotoxin, and all the products here that are used in the water. What is interesting also is that if you want a program to be useful and to be used by the farmers, it must be easy to use. And we really develop, with all the new range of products, solutions that are of easy use. Otherwise, if it's not easy, if it's not convenient, it will not be used. So this program, we have developed it into a concrete application. So our idea was, okay, we talk a lot about antibiotic-free, but we have to demonstrate it's possible to make it. So the idea was to develop an industrial pilot. Usually when a company, when a group is making some samples, some essays, field essays, we do that on a small scale. Allmix took the decision to develop a viable and integrated production chain in France at an industrial scale. At the end of the last year, Allmix took a share in a food processor, a slaughterhouse named Tilly Sapco. Tilly Sapco is the second largest poultry slaughterhouse in France for export. So by transforming this slaughterhouse from a conventional production to antibiotic-free production, we want to demonstrate that technically it's possible to produce antibiotic-free thanks to algae, and also economically this is a viable solution. So to develop this pilot, the first thing is that we have established a specification, some specifications. To establish those specifications, we had a working group together with all the partners, all the actors of the production chain. So this specification takes into account the feed millers, the farmers, the slaughterhouse, and of course the veterinarians. And this specification describes all what is required to produce antibiotic-free chicken thanks to algae. It has been very important for us to implement this specification with all the actors, because all the actors, they have to gain something into this project, otherwise it will not be implemented, especially for veterinarians. In France, the revenue of veterinarians is made when they prescribe antibiotics. So if you promote antibiotic-free products, then you will take off the revenue for the veterinarians, and so they will not support your project. And you need the veterinarians because they are animal health specialists. So that's why in our philosophy, in our products, we have this range for vet in order to provide veterinarians an alternative income, and then to be sure they will help us to make this dream come true. So the pilot, as I said, is established around the slaughterhouse, which is in the north of Brittany. Brittany is this region, province of France. Brittany is the first agriculture province in France. 80% of the poultry, 80% of the pork, 60% of the dairy from France are coming from Brittany. So here we are in the heart of the excellency of French agriculture. And the slaughterhouse is in the heart of Brittany. The program we implemented involved 12 farms, 1 feed miller, and the Tilly-Sapco slaughterhouse. The breed we have used is a crossbreed between conventional and slow growth birds. In each shed, in each flock, you have 40,000 chicks. They receive a conventional feed, plus, of course, the all-mix animal care range. They receive the conventional vaccination program, at least conventional for France, with a Gumboro and infectious bronchitis vaccine. And the age at slaughter is 40 days. I just want to mention that those production data are the conventional one. We didn't change anything. We didn't change the building. We didn't change the number of chicks. We didn't change the feed except the all-mix animal care that we introduced. We wanted to demonstrate it's possible to produce antibiotic-free in a conventional, normal conditions. So we started the first chicks at the end of March this year, and now we already produced 1,200,000 birds, 30 flocks, and on all those flocks, only one had to be treated with antibiotics. It was due to a problem of chick quality. The chick were carrying E. coli, and at a certain moment, it has not been possible to overcome the health issue, so the veterinarian had to take the decision to treat with antibiotics. But the result is that with our all-mix animal care program, 97% of the birds were produced with no antibiotics. Of course, no growth promoter, because it's banned in Europe, but also no preventive antibiotics and no therapeutic antibiotics. While in this production scheme, usually only 44% of the birds are produced with absolutely no antibiotics. So this demonstrates that it's possible, thanks to algae, to produce no antibiotics chicken in France today. Regarding the technical results, they comply with the standards of the breed. The quality of the carcass and the economic performance are also preserved. So it means that there is no economical loss with the program, on the contrary, because as it has been explained by Mr. Dong, to produce high-quality products is not uneconomical. On the contrary, because the products will be sold higher price, and this higher price will be shared with all the chain production, the farmers, the feed miller, the slaughterhouse, and the veterinarians. So it's this branding that will make the added value of the product. So the branding, thanks to algae, One Health thanks to algae, is the strength of the program. With the brand, you provide to the consumers guarantees that he will have a health product with a concept which is scientifically sound and industrially proven. You also give him guarantee of the traceability, a comprehensive approach to quality control and consumer protection, and of course, you give to the consumer some added value of social status. Today, the consumers, they want to distinguish from the neighbors. They don't want to have the same products than the neighbors. So with the brand, you can bring to him a premium product, something that can make him something special, somebody special. But of course, to produce, we have made this pilot in Brittany. We are very proud of that. But now we want to share this experience with all of you, with all our customers, with all our clients, with all our partners. So that's why we have established the Breizh Algae School. The idea is there to develop a hub, a knowledge hub, a technology hub to share the best practices in agriculture, the best practices in the livestock industry, in order to build a healthy food chain thanks to algae. So this school that we will formally inaugurate tomorrow will be for all the people, the students, the partners, the customers, veterinarians, nutritionists, farm managers, all the people that are interested to develop a new model for agriculture, to develop more healthy, more natural agriculture thanks to algae. And it's open to, the lectures will be given also by experts, of course, experts from all mix, but we are also lucky to associate to this school academic and professional institutes from France, like INRA, as I mentioned already, but also we welcome all the international experts, all the international academic institutes to participate to this school. So now I talked a lot, but I think the best proof of what I have said is just to taste the poultry. So here you can see an image of the food truck. We have a food truck that is selling already the Breizh Algae chicken in Brittany. And what is interesting with the experience is that we launched the food truck on the beginning of July. And since now, in Brittany, all the other food trucks that are producing chicken, they call me to complain because they said all the customers, they want this chicken. The customers, they don't want anymore the normal chicken. They want the Breizh Algae chicken. So I hope that tomorrow this truck, today it's in Brittany, I hope tomorrow it will come to any country of all of you here. And we are ready to do that with you, to promote the healthy food chain together with you. So thank you for your attention, and I invite you to have a try of the poulet. Ah, okay, it's already there.
Voilà.
A great German philosopher used to say, the proof of the cake is when you eat it. So in Brittany,
voilà.
Our philosophy is the proof of the poultry is when you eat it.
Merci Thomas, on peut l'applaudir.